Hello. In this management class, we are asking all students to do a personality survey. The particular one that we're doing here is based off of the Myers-Briggs Personality Type Index. It's probably the most commonly used personality test ever. And in the next video, I'm going to actually step you through taking the test. But in this video, I'm going to present each of the personality categories, and I want you to predict what your type indicator will be. I want you to predict what your personality will be. So here are the four categories in front of you here, and we're going to go through each one of these categories, and you need to choose which one you feel is most comfortable for you. In the first category, we are looking at where you get your energy from. And we're looking at the difference between extroverts and introverts. Extroverts are people who are naturally talkative. They prefer a fast-paced environment. They tend to think out loud. And the key point to what makes somebody an extrovert is that extroverts are people who get energy from other people. Okay? Extroverts are people who get energy from other people. Introverts are people who are often more private. They typically prefer a slower pace for things to go, simply because they want to process and think about what's happening. And the key point for introverts is this bottom point here, that introverts are people who enjoy time with others, but after they have time with others, they often feel like it is energy going out, and so they need to recharge their batteries, get the energy back. Now in this one, I'm going to use an example of myself and a good friend of mine who used to teach here at UAU. So I love teaching. I'm very much an extrovert. When I'm in a classroom full of students, I am getting energy from students. It's who I am. I used to have a friend here. I still have the friend. His name is Dan. Dan was a guy who taught here for many years, and he is very introverted. He was a fantastic teacher. He taught economics here. When he was teaching, though, it was energy going out for him. So there would be a day where I would teach 3 classes, and he would teach 3 classes. At the end of the day, for me, because I'm an extrovert, after teaching 3 classes and standing in front of 100 students and so forth and interacting with a lot of people during the day, I would walk out with more energy than ever. So by the end of the day, I'm energized. Dan, on the other hand, if he taught 3 classes and had over 100 students, he would walk out just drained, all energy gone. So Dan would go home, kiss his wife, and then go put headphones on and play video games for a couple of hours by himself to get his energy back. So extroverts are people who get energy from other people, and introverts are people that usually feel like it is energy going out. If you think you are more of an extrovert, if you're a person who likes to think out loud, you're talkative, and you get energy from other people, then your first letter in the category is going to be an E. So on scratch paper or somewhere, write down, if you think you're an extrovert, you're an E. If you are somebody for whom you're more private and you feel like your time with other people is energy going out, then your first letter is an I. You're an introvert and your first letter is an I. So make your prediction. In the next category, we're looking at people who are intuitive versus sensing. And what we're looking at here is how we process information, how we filter information in our mind. People who are intuitive are people who like to imagine possibilities. They are people who are good at looking at the big picture, thinking about big ideas, understanding theory and concepts, That's what intuitive people enjoy. What intuitive people are often not good at is understanding detail, understanding practical solutions. They're good at so intuitive people are going to think about big concepts a lot. Sensing people are people who focus on the things that can be confirmed by one of their senses. So sensing people want to have the ability to taste, smell, see, hear, touch. One of the 5 senses needs to confirm this is real. Sensing people prefer ideas. If I can scroll this down a little bit. Sensing people prefer ideas with practical solutions. Sensing people are people that often say, just give me the facts. I want to work with what I need to work with now. I don't want to worry about things in the future. Just give me what I need to work on now. So, in this second category, if you consider yourself somebody who likes to think about concepts and bigger ideas, then you're probably more of an intuitive person. So your second letter will be an N. If you are somebody who focuses on the practical, you want your senses to prove what's real to you, then your second category, you're more likely a sensing person, which is an S. So hopefully you now have 2 letters that you think are part of your personality type. Now, before I go on, years ago I was at a training in Seattle, Washington, in the United States, and one of the people at this training became a good friend, and her name was Angie. And when she took the official Myers-Briggs test for this, the test came back saying that she was a sensing person. And as she read the description, she said to the trainer, I'm not a sensing person. I'm most definitely intuitive. I don't know why the test came back sensing, but I'm not. And what the trainer said is that that's okay. If you know that this one does not match you, then the question that I would have for you is, why did you answer questions that showed this? So what is it about what you think you are versus what you actually are? Okay? So the point I'm trying to make is, for every one of these categories, you may partly feel that you are one or the other. There's nobody who's 100% an extrovert or 100% an introvert. There's nobody who's 100% intuitive or 100% sensing. But what we're looking for here is where you feel the most comfortable. Okay? The next category kind of proves that, because the next category is thinking versus feeling. And I certainly hope that as a human being you're pretty good at thinking and feeling. I hope you have both. A thinking person is somebody who values logic and reasoning. That's what's important. When you're making decisions, because the category we're looking at here is how people make decisions, the approach to decision making. And somebody who is a thinking person values logic and reasoning in making decisions. And because they value logic and reasoning, they're going to give more importance to decision making as being fair over being kind. Okay? People who are more feeling people, when a feeling person, as they're making a decision, they're considering how that decision will make other people feel. So that enters into how they make a decision. So a feeling person considers how this decision will make other people feel, and feeling people typically like to have harmony. Harmony simply means that they like getting along with others, and they believe in the importance of forgiveness, and feeling people often are seen as having a warmer personality. And to be very clear, I'm not saying that feeling people are nicer, it's just they often are viewed as having a warmer personality. You can be a feeling person and be mean. Yeah, don't read in anything that thinking people are not nice. Anyhow, if you are somebody that values logic and reasoning, and that's how you make decisions, is you make decisions based on what's logical and reasonable, then you're more of a T. If you're somebody who, as you make decisions, you think about, how will this decision affect other people, then you're more of a feeling person. So in your third category, you should write down whether you're a T for thinking or an F for feeling. That brings us to the last category. Judging, which sometimes this is referred to as judging justice, versus perceiving. People who are judging justice, judging people, are people who prefer to have things settled. They prefer to, just, let's find an answer. Judging people like to have step-by-step instructions. Tell me 1, 2, 3, tell me what I need to do. Judging people are people who like to make plans and then to stick to those plans. And perhaps the most telling thing for judging people is that judging people typically will see decisions as being black or white, being there's a right and a wrong. So for a judging person, the world, if you have any decision you have to make, there's a right decision or a wrong decision. There's a good or bad. And so for a judging person, because they see everything as either being good or bad, they're typically faster at making decisions because it's either a good idea or a bad idea. That's it. Perceiving people are people that prefer to leave options open. They like to be able to change their mind if necessary. Perceiving people like the flexibility to change if they think there needs to be a change. Perceiving people see good and bad in almost everything. So perceiving people often take longer in making decisions because if you see good and bad in everything, then it's going to be hard to make a decision because you're like, well, this is good because this, and this, but this is bad because of that, and this decision, and so it can take forever for perceiving people to make decisions. Okay? If you are somebody who sees the world as more black and white, you can choose whether it's good or bad for most decisions, then you're most likely a judging person, a J for your last letter. If you are somebody that you like leaving your options open, you see shades of gray in almost all decisions, then you're more likely a perceiving person. Now you should have, if I go back to the very first slide, now you should have 4 letters that describe your personality type. The first category, you're either an extrovert, E, or introvert, I. In the second category, an intuitive. If you're an intuitive, you're an N, or if you're a sensing person, S. If you're a thinking person, T. If you're a feeling person, F. In the last category, if you're a perceiving person, P, and if you're a judging person, J. So you should have your 4 letters.